Amara had always dreamed of being the most beautiful bride. Every detail was carefully planned, but as her wedding day neared, there was one thing that haunted her. Was she beautiful enough? Could she ever be that perfect bride she has always dreamt of? In the heart of Lagos, Amara walked into Chika's salon. The reputation of this place had spread far and wide. But there was something more than just makeup here, something that promised to make her unforgettable. Chika, with a knowing smile, offered Amara the key. She gave Amara a cream to be using before the final day. That night, Amara applied the cream, her skin tingling with an unfamiliar warmth. It felt like magic, like something was happening beneath the surface. She closed her eyes, believing in the beauty she was about to uncover. But with every passing minute, something darker was beginning to unfold. The next morning, Amara was eager to see the results. But as she gazed into the mirror, a chill crept down her spine. Her skin, once smooth, was now flushed, irritated, and covered in small red bumps. The glow she expected hadn't arrived. Something was wrong. As the wedding day drew near, Amara felt her beauty slipping away. Her face, now a battlefield of irritation and redness, refused to cooperate. The weight of her growing anxiety weighed heavily on her. Her dream wedding was slipping into a nightmare. Amara woke up the next morning eager to see her glowing skin, but instead, she found her face irritated and red. The burn from the night before was worse now, but she convinced herself it was just the cream working its magic. It had to be, right? She tried to cover it up, concealer, foundation, anything. But the more she applied, the worse it looked. Yet, Amara refused to acknowledge the truth. She wanted to believe the dream she had built. She had come this far, hadn't she? A few blemishes wouldn't ruin everything, but when the makeup came off, the truth was undeniable. Her skin wasn't reacting as it should. The irritation wasn't just from the cream, it was consuming her. Slowly, as if something inside her was fighting back. The burn, now darker, spread, and Amara's fear grew with each passing hour. That night, Amara couldn't sleep. Her face felt hot, pulsing with a strange energy. She debated whether to stop using the cream, but she couldn't. Not yet. She had come this far. What if it was the final push she needed? What if it was the key to the perfection she so desperately craved? In desperation, she applied more of the cream. But with each stroke, she could feel something change. The sensation was no longer soothing, it was unsettling, invasive. Yet, Amara pushed through. Beauty, she told herself, would always require sacrifice. Chika had once been a star in the world of beauty, a young prodigy who captured the hearts of everyone with her flawless skin and unmatched skill. But beneath the surface, there was more to her rise than anyone realized. A secret that had driven her obsession with perfection. It wasn't until one late night in her small, dimly lit studio that Chika found it, an ancient recipe, passed down through generations. A formula said to unlock the ultimate beauty. But it came with a price. A price she had been willing to pay. At first, the cream worked wonders, preserving Chika's beauty, making her the talk of every bride in Lagos. But as she continued using it, the effects started to show. Her skin, though still flawless on the outside, began to wither inside. The cream didn't just maintain beauty, it took something from her each time she used it. As Chika's own beauty began to fade, the terror set in. What had she given up for eternal youth? Her health. Her sanity. She no longer recognized the woman in the mirror. The cream had taken more than just her glow, it had begun to take her soul. Chika knew the risk she was taking by offering Amara the cream. She had seen the warning signs in her own reflection and feared what might happen if someone else fell into the same trap. But her need to maintain the illusion of beauty, of control, was too strong. She couldn't stop. Not now. By the fourth day, Amara could no longer ignore it. Her skin had begun to decay before her very eyes. The cream, which once promised beauty, had become a curse. Every morning, she woke up to a new, terrifying change, her once smooth skin now disfigured, as if it were rotting away. She tried everything, more makeup, more treatments, more creams, but nothing worked. The more she covered, the more it spread. She was losing control. The woman she had hoped to be was slipping away, and in her place, a stranger stared back. In her panic, Amara reached out to every dermatologist, every makeup artist in Lagos. But it was too late. Her skin was beyond saving. She could feel the burn inside her. Deep in her bones, as if the cream was not just destroying her skin, but something more, her very essence. Then, the call came. Chika's name flashing across her phone, as if summoned by the dread that had settled in Amara's heart. She picked up, her voice trembling. "What did you do to me?" she demanded. Chika's calm voice on the other end was the last thing Amara expected. Chika's voice, so eerily calm, sent a chill down Amara's spine. "It was never meant to make you beautiful, Amara," Chika said softly. "It was meant to change you, take something from you. It's too late now. The curse has already begun." Amara's body went cold as she stared at herself. The woman in the mirror wasn't her anymore. Half of her face was gone, exposed, decayed. The cream had not only disfigured her, it was eating her alive. Chika is right. There was no coming back from this, Amara said, but then Chika spoke again, her voice almost too calm. "You can still save yourself, Amara," she said. "Join me. Embrace it. Let the cream consume you completely. You'll never have to fear age or imperfection again." Amara stared at herself in the broken mirror. The wedding dress, once her symbol of perfection, was now a mocking reminder of what had been lost. The offer stood before her, to embrace the curse, or to try and break free. Her heart raced. The choice seemed impossible. It was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. But as Amara stood before the mirror, the reality hit her harder than any nightmare. Her wedding day was here, but the woman in the reflection, half decayed, half beautiful, was unrecognizable. Desperation took hold as she coated her skin with makeup. Layer after layer, but no matter how much she applied, the damage didn't hide. The rot seeped through. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. She had to look perfect. She had to. Amara's heart raced as the clock ticked. The ceremony was about to begin. The guests were arriving, and her fiancé would soon see her. Her breath became shallow, panic crawling through her chest. Could she walk down that aisle? Could she face them all? Could she face him? The door cracked open just a little. She saw him. Her fiancé, smiling, unaware. The man she was supposed to walk down the aisle to. The man who would soon see what she had become. Her heart skipped a beat. How would he react? How could she face him now? Amora's hand hovered over her veil, the weight of the day crashing over her. She lifted it slowly, gazing at her reflection one last time. What she saw was not the glowing bride she had envisioned. It was a broken woman, trapped in a nightmare she couldn't escape, and there it was. The moment she had been dreading. The moment he saw her. The guests hushed, their eyes darting between her and the man beside her. Her fiancé's expression faltered. Shock. Confusion. Fear. What could he say? What could anyone say? Her fiancé stepped back. A visible shudder ran through him as his gaze swept over her. The smile that once lived in his eyes had disappeared, replaced by shock. "This isn't you," he muttered, his voice cold, his face pale. And just like that, the dream she had built shattered. The man who was supposed to love her, now repelled by the very thing she had become, alone in the corner, Amora's tears fell freely. The weight of the day was unbearable. Her skin, her beauty, her wedding all crumbled in that single moment she feared. Amara sat alone in the darkness, the laughter and music from the wedding reception muffled in the distance. The world had moved on without her. She had been rejected, abandoned. The dream she had fought so hard for was over. And now, there was only the silent echo of her own failure. The phone rang again, and with it, the voice she had dreaded hearing. Chica. Her name flashing across the screen was a cruel reminder of the deal Amara had made. The same woman who had promised beauty, now the bearer of the curse. Amara, Chica's voice purred from the other end. It's not too late. I can help you, Chica said, her voice smooth, coaxing. You don't have to be this thing anymore. You don't have to live in this broken body. Join me, and we'll fix this. You'll be beautiful again, forever. Amara's heart beat faster, but there was something dark in those words, something she couldn't ignore. Amara could feel the weight of Chica's words in her bones, heavy and suffocating. The offer was simple. Give yourself to the cream, embrace the transformation, and in return, you would have beauty beyond your wildest dreams. But at what cost? Was she willing to sacrifice everything for a false promise? The mirror reflected what was left of her. Half rotted, half beautiful. A cruel reminder of her own choices. She had wanted perfection, but this was worse than any nightmare. The price of beauty had already been paid, and now, the only question was whether she could endure what came next. Amara stood at the edge of the building, the wind tugging at her wedding dress. Below, the city sprawled, alive with the kind of life she could no longer reach. Chica's words echoed in her mind. You can fix this. You can join me. But at what cost? Was she willing to give in to the curse for a chance to regain her beauty, her life? She had already lost so much. But what was more important now? Beauty, or her soul? The choice was hers. And it wasn't an easy one. She could fall into Chica's world of endless youth, endless beauty, and endless darkness, or she could break free. Amara took a deep breath and made the choice that would define her future. Amara turned away from the edge. The night felt different now, less oppressive, less suffocating. She wasn't sure what came next, but she knew one thing: this was her choice. Her journey wasn't over. She would fight for what was left of her life. She would reclaim the woman she used to be.